am Dena, and you are tuned into a discussion with Dena. Just a reminder, once again, that there are three independent and third party candidates who are currently running for president in 2024: Cornel West, Jill Stein, and Chase Oliver. That is, in addition to the Republican and Democratic candidates. I am convinced, and many others may be, that this current two-party system is just not effective. It appears to be very corrupt, nonchalant to the needs of its own citizens, and pretty much ran by big corporations with big money and think tanks with big agendas. Agendas that I find questionable, unnecessary, and simply are just not in agreement with family values, are beneficial for that matter to the future success of this country. In fact, some may even find it to be disastrous for the country. So we find ourselves dealing with some very detrimental issues that have been made more challenging by the current administration, leaving many Democrats in particular exploring better options, or perhaps even considering choosing the couch. The current administration's lack of ability to prevent and utilize resources to control illegal entry into the country has led to adversity in many communities. Not to mention, we are dealing with the highest inflation I have ever witnessed in my life. The price for goods, it seems that it increases daily. And I want to see reparations on the ballots. It is being purposely blocked and gridlocked by Democrats, the very Democrats that were voted in to work on our behalf. And not to mention depriving citizens, legal taxpayers of resources and benefits, instead funneling millions of taxpayer dollars to give an advantage to illegals who have entered the country. Millions who have chosen to ignore the laws that have been put in place regarding entry into this particular country. They simply bypass those laws and are now being rewarded with benefits. Benefits that are financed by your dollars and mine. We are being denied many of those same resources that are given to them. And it has created a huge problem, one that the Democrats seem to ignore, a problem that was seemingly exacerbated by the current administration. The same administration that ignores the outcry from actual citizens of this country who are being greatly affected by the allowances of illegals to take their much needed resources away. So people are seeking better alternatives to what we have become accustomed to. Plain and simple, the Democrats as well as the Republicans leave much to be desired in this current political arena. So today we want to highlight another independent candidate that is running for president. It's Mr. Cornel West. We seem to see and hear very little of Mr. Cornel West in the main media. We don't hear much from his campaign or regarding his policies in mainstream media. We just don't, and I think it's very unfair. Nonetheless, he is currently one of the independent or third party candidates that is running for president and want your vote. He wants to be president of these United States. He's a political activist, a scholar of African American studies. He is a Harvard graduate and has taught philosophy, religion, and African American studies at various colleges and universities. And here is his political viewpoint, shared from various media sources. Let's take a listen.
I started as a independent after I left the People's Green Party. Then I decided to form my own party, Justice for All Party, because it wanted to gain ballot access. If you have a party, it could be 5,000 signatures needed. If you run it by yourself, independent, it's 50,000. So it depends on which state. Each state is different. Now we already own Alaska, Oregon, we got Utah, we got South Carolina, we got Colorado. We're gonna have another 15 in a matter of a month or so. So we are really on the move. We got tremendous momentum. Because you see, I have been running for justice for 55 years. And I'm a Christian, so I'm running for Jesus too, but I'm running for justice. And when you run for justice, you're always looking at the least of these. You're looking at the folk who have been pushed to the margins, the folk who have been pushed to the periphery, making sure that poor and working people are at the center of your vision. This is a paradigm shift. See, people are not used to seeing a politician who's not looking at the world through the lens of Wall Street and stock market. No, that's not me. I look at the world through the lens of what Clyde Stone called everyday people. Yeah, because we have a political system that so oftentimes has really legalized bribery and normalized corruption. That's why so many citizens feel so down and out and highly frustrated. Because our politicians have been bought off by big money. Our politicians are deferential to big industry, corporations and oligopolies and so forth. When it comes to working people, small businesses, when it comes to working people trying to gain wages, 62% of our fellow citizens live paycheck to paycheck in the richest nation in the history of the world. You think about that. 1% of the population owns 90% of the wealth. 3 individuals have wealth equivalent to 160 million Americans. 50%. That's a level of grotesque inequality. I'm running a program. I want to abolish poverty because I come out of legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. Fannie Lou Hamer, see, that's who I am. I come out of Irene B. West and Clifton West and Shiloh Baptist Church and a little influence from the Black Panther Party, but I always held on to Jesus. They were secular and atheistic. Hey, I understand, but I'm a Jesus-loving free black man, right? So all we have in this campaign is nothing but a moment in a movement of the spillover of a tradition of a great black people. And I ain't nothing but a little small wave in that ocean.
Now let's hear his thoughts on reparations.
Is the most crucial scholarly basis of any discussion. And I always talk about reparations in terms of truth and justice. If you're concerned about the truth of America's past and present, and if you see damage, what kind of repair are we talking about? Like tort law. What kind of repair are we talking about? If you're not interested in truth and justice, then you're not going to be interested in reparation. If you're interested in truth and justice, you're going to be persuaded by the powerful case made, and there's going to be some serious movement as to how we go about doing that. And that's why reparations has always been a fundamental part of who I am. And when running for president, of course, he said it's number one at the top of the racial justice list, tied to a whole host of other things as well, ending mass incarceration. We want schools equality, we want free health care for folks, we want free education, and so on. Talking about truth and justice. If you got a vicious legacy of white supremacy, you exclude black folk for over 100 and some years, and then you're going to say, well, we got a diversity program for y'all. No, we want truth, we want justice. It's reparations. And therefore, the language was wrong. The language was a deodorized, sanitized language that concealed the funk. But we come out of a folk master-oriented people. We want to get beneath this deodorized language. We want to ensure that black folk gain access to whatever opportunities they can, given the fact they've been excluded. So diversity, equity, and inclusion became this strategy for those who had power and resources to think that somehow we were getting something that we hardly deserved. So already you got the wrong lens to which you're viewing things. But we had to go with it because we fight for the crumbs. But you know there's still crumbs. And you know that in the end, we've got to make sure that those who benefit are not just the black middle class, the black bourgeoisie. We support them in becoming inclusive. Usually when they get in there, they sell out, but not always. Not always, but usually they do. You know, that's a human thing. Black folk ain't the only one doing that. But we got to always view the litmus test. Yeah, I get biblical, 25th chapter of Matthew. What you do unto the least of these, you do unto me. The prisoners, the poor, the widow, the orphan, the fatherless, the motherless. What's happening with Precious, Jamal, and Letitia on the block? That's the litmus test. No matter how much success we have, and it's a beautiful thing, if we lose sight of them, we have already violated our calling. I'm questioning America. I'm questioning capitalism. I'm questioning patriarchy. and I'm questioning white supremacy. The folk who want to defend Biden and can't say a mumbling word about the genocide and ethnic cleansing and apartheid state of Israel, it means they're turning their backs. But no, we don't come out of tradition like that. We committed to Jamal and Letitia in the hood. We committed to Juan and Juanita in the barrio. We committed to poor whites. We committed to Palestinians. We committed to any folk. We committed to Jews when they catching hell. We were around in 1930. We in solidarity with the Jews against Hitler. Now, right now, you got genocide taking place in Gaza. We take a stand. Not out of self-righteousness, but because we want to be moral and spiritual. That's who we are as a people, man. At our best. I'm not talking about our worst. At our best. And therefore, you got Trump, head up gangster, leading the country towards Civil War II. Biden, war criminal, leading the world toward World War III. Now you're going to choose between Civil War II and World War III. What you going to do? That's the history of black folk. For us, Pharaoh has always been on both sides of the bloody Red Seas. What you going to do? Sing a song. What you going to do? Crack a smile, crack a joke, hug, organize, and mobilize, and then make a way out of no way.
Just a reminder, presenting this information by no means should be interpreted as an endorsement or support for this candidate or any other candidate or group. It is simply acknowledging that the presidential options are larger than just the Republican and Democratic parties. I have shared Jill Stein's campaign info, Cornel West, and I will explore the final independent candidate, Chase Oliver's platform as well. If you would like more information on Cornel West's political policies and campaign, you can visit his website. Be sure to subscribe and leave me your comments. And join me next time for another discussion with Dena. Ta-ta!
This concludes your daily discussions with Dena. Join us Monday through Friday at 12:30 p.m. Like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment.